Hello everyone. Sorry for the recent lack of uploads. I've been busy with schoolwork. I still am, but I just took this Victoria Day weekend as an opportunity to publish a new video. It's the Birdfeeder design that I've designed a couple of months ago, and I just recently printed it out and set it up. I hope we get some feathered visitors soon. And yes, this is my sixth product preview, and I hope you enjoy this demonstration of this product. Obviously, the bird feeder provides a place for visiting birds to rest, eat, and drink water. It is a very user-friendly, accessible design. It's not only user-friendly for the birds, but I will explain later, it is also good for the wildlife photographers due to its vast area compared to most bird feeders, and the fact that it is organized in such a way that you can easily funnel in nuts and seeds, and it's detachable from its place. There are several parts involved in this bird feeder. The main one is the mainframe, what I call the mainframe, which is the container which holds all the nuts and seeds. It allows you to dispense them easily via a hole in the back that will be covered, the top of it will be covered by the roof. The roof obviously protects it from the elements and animal raids, because normally if you see a giant supply of nuts or seeds or what other food, animals like raccoons or squirrels will eat the whole lot, and there will be nothing left, and you will have to replenish your stocks consistently. The food container is designed in such a way that birds can perch on the food container. There are little indents where they can access food in different ways. And the water containers don't have such a limitation because birds drink more water. A lot of birds just drink some water and then they go, especially during the summer, hot summer days. And the perches are basically long sticks where birds can rest on. The thinner ones, um, the thinner ones are mounted onto the food container or water container, while the thicker ones would be mounted directly onto the main frame because it can sustain the bird's weight. It has three special features. One is the feeder slot, which I mentioned earlier, allows you to funnel in nuts and seeds. The second one is the path director. Uh, yes, the path redirector, which is over here. You can see the triangular regions. Looks like a pyramidal regions. It prevents nuts and seeds from being stuck in those corners. Probably wondering why I didn't put them over here. The answer is because when you funnel it in, it will not be stuck in that area unless it's pushed backwards. If the nuts are moving in a normal pattern, they'll be moving in a triangular way. From here, the radius will be over from here to here. It's like a pie shape, like a slice of a pie, and then there's the indents and perches. The assembly. Well, firstly, like any other print, you would need to slice the files using a slicing software. Using Ultimaker Cura is a good one, the most well-known one. Then print it. Generally, you'd want to give your printer small breaks, about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even more. Maybe even a day between prints if your printer is really old. Small breaks between prints helps your printer to not overheat and not maybe malfunction. Next, you're going to want to sand and polish all your pieces, especially if you're printing a wood PLA. There are going to be little bumps, and projections, and hair-like filaments, hair-like projections all over the place, like cobwebs type projections, and especially it won't look good. It doesn't feel good, and you're going to want to get rid of that, and you would use a sander. This is a modified drill used as with this attachment, sandpaper attachment, and that's what I'm using. It's very easy, actually. Please be careful when using power tools. I'm not liable for any damages caused. Uh, Next, you want to get some super glue and glue the water containers to the left and right of the main frame. Just press them to the main frame as shown. One is to the left and one is to the right. And yes, you want to wear nitrile gloves when handling super glue as it's corrosive. Latex gloves do not work. In fact, they have a harmful effect. Wear nitrile gloves. Next step, you're going to want to put the food platform to the front of the main frame, as you see here. And this rest of it is it demonstrates the entirety of the assembly process. And then you want to put the roof to the top of the main frame. And then the perches around the bird feeder as shown. You want the thinner ones to rest on a surface so they don't collapse under the weight of the birds like this. And now we're just repeating the image. You can stop this and rewind this if you want to see this process, or go back if you want to see the previous steps, but I'm going to be moving on in the interest of time. The next process is, this is optional. You may put a key ring through the hole in the top of the roof. This may or may not be as stable because the hole goes through the roof and the super glue may wear out over time. Just see whatever works for you. There's a certain file, roof file, which is modified. It says roof with hole. Take that file if you want the roof with a hole in it. You put a key ring in there and just hook it up to a nail on your deck or outside your house or on a pole or wherever the birds would come. You know where they would come, so yeah. The print time is quite long, actually, one of my longest prints. The roof takes about 4 hours. The purchase and food container takes about 3.5. The water container, both of them combined take about 7.5 hours. But the main frame takes 17.5 hours, which is probably a really big amount of time, considering that it's actually quite large, even though it's hollow. So this is even with 20% infill. This is with 40% infill for some of the parts. So with 20% infill, you're going to get a less print time and not a huge difference in stability. I printed 40% infill because I wasn't sure about the stability of my parts, because I got a new filament and I hadn't used my 3D printer in a long time. So just to be safe, I put a higher infill, but please put a lower infill as you possibly can. 20% is standard. Also, print with a brim or raft, especially for prints with a big flat area that is going to be on the print bed, like the main frame. Otherwise, you're going to have to scrape your print off the bed, and that is both going to damage your print and your print bed. So, yes, print with a brim and a raft that can be arranged in your slicer settings. We're nearing the tail end of this presentation. As mentioned, the wood filaments will cause bumps and projections due to the heat settings. Wood, I believe, has a lower melting point. PLA has a lower melting point than typical PLA. So when you print wood PLA, it will melt faster and it will put some very small hair-like projections due to the fact that if it's different melting point properties. So yes, you'd want to sand that out. And you also need to fasten the top and sides of the bird feeder because it's very bulky and is liable to fall down in wind. It's bulky, but it's very, very light, which is a bad combination. So, yeah, it will just spill all the nuts and seeds and water everywhere. So, this is one way to fasten it. You can fasten it any way you wish. We drilled a hole through the back of the bird feeder, the projection for the funnel. We drill it and we put some old clips and we just nailed them into the wall. You can just pull that out. You can pull this out whenever you need to fill the bird feeder up again. Now we're just testing the bird feeder's slotting mechanism. You have to shake it a bit. It's not perfect, but it's better than the average bird feeder. When you slot it in, the ramp will, by gravity, it'll just make everything go into the food container. And here I'm just watering it. Yeah, you're going to want to replace the water every so often so it doesn't get moldy algae. And here's an image of the bird feeder before it was fully assembled. At the time I didn't know where to put the perches, as you can see. And yes, now we are done with this product preview. I hope I can publish more videos soon, but you may have to wait a bit because, as I said, I am a lot busier than I was. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this video. More product previews are coming soon, and have a great Saturday.